Dia Water, 75è dia de cursa. Us vaig ensenyar. Ja va passar aquest forat, veieu? On acumulem la brossa perquè estigui ben endreçadeta. Mireu, això és la proa del vaixell, perquè se sent una miqueta la fressa de l'aigua. I aquí en un costat veieu les bosses d'escombraries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, i aquí unes quantes més. Tot això és dels 75 dies de regata. I us vaig ensenyar un momentet, ja que estem aquí. Molt bé. We are water, Atlàntic Sud cap a dalt. Adeu.
And today's flyover for the Barcelona World Fleet shows Chimney Pujala now heading towards the African coast, tacking yesterday morning and now into strengthening trade winds, 18-20 knots this morning. Neutrogena and Gaius heading upwind still on the northeasterly trades, still quite close together, about 180 miles apart. And One Planet, One Ocean, Pharmaton passing We Are Water, but in fact they're pretty much at the same latitude and the same wind conditions and only 5 or 6 miles apart. And then down there in the South Atlantic, still in light upwind conditions in this high pressure system, struggling close to the Rio coast is Renault Captur, and upwind in northwesterly breezes, Spirit of Hungary making fair progress. But that is the span of the fleet today. So the morning ranking this 19th of March, day number 78, and at the moment Chimney Pujala making 13.2 knots, a heading of 96 degrees. That suggests they're still just south of east. Neutrogena heading more or less north at 11.9 knots, and Gaius Centros Auditivos 353, 11 knots, so Neutrogena a little bit quicker this morning. And then the big change, One Planet, One Ocean, Pharmaton are ahead of We Are Water, making 15.5 knots due north, 15.1 knots for We Are Water, and sailing 5 degrees, and there is presently about 7 or 8 miles between them, so still nothing in it. Renault Captur making 7.9 knots, they made just 138 miles over the 24 hours to 9 o'clock this morning, and Spirit of Hungary making 10.7 knots this morning, in good shape in upwind conditions.
Ah bah ça va, c'est un peu mouvementé, mais ça va pas mal. Le vent a un peu annulé, mais on est dans une espèce d'alizé portugais avec plein de grains, quoi. Donc c'est le vent, cette fois, tous les grains ils montent à pas loin de 40 nœuds. Au moment, bah il y a une vingtaine de nœuds établis, quoi, 20, 25, quoi. Donc c'est un peu mouvementé, quoi. Voilà, on a toujours la mer de face et puis ben commence à faire un peu de vitesse, donc c'est un peu le saut de vague. Ah, mais on est toujours sur le même rythme, hein. Je veux dire, c'est l'avance de 1000 milles, on l'avait dans le Pacifique, donc on avance prudemment, mais on avance, quoi. Si on commence à réduire pour 37 mois, on n'avance plus du tout, quoi. Si on réduit pour être toilé comme il faut pour le maximum des grains, quoi, et ben là on est collé à la blouse, quoi. Ah là on est que dans le quotidien, hein. Ça nous occupe quand même à plein temps complètement les deux. Je pense que se déconcentrer là, penser à l'arrivée. Pense à l'arrivée, je vous ai dit, hein, depuis le départ on y pense à l'arrivée. Mais pas plus que ça. Et puis et quand c'est un peu chaud comme maintenant là, je veux dire, on pense vraiment à faire attention de progresser sans rien casser, quoi. Ah ben c'est évident, c'est une différence, il y a déjà quelqu'un à bord, on le voit bien la différence, quoi. Après on a quelqu'un à qui parler, on a 4 bras, peut-être 4 jambes, puis il y a quelqu'un qui est dehors pendant qu'on dort, quoi. Et ça c'est quand même, ça change tout, quoi. Je veux dire c'est le colo là dans des temps comme ça là, il y a le sommeil zéro, quoi. Et là, on peut dormir, quoi. Puis après, il y a plein d'avantages, hein. Je veux dire, il y a quelqu'un qui est au winch quand on monte au mât, quoi. Et il y a plein de trucs. Maintenant, il y a des contraintes parce qu'il faut partager son espace vital, quoi. Mais bon, quand ça se passe bien, il n'y a pas de raison. C'est que du bonus, hein.
Hi Bernat, I'm Guillem from Patufet School 2. If there are so many people who sail, why are there only a few sailors in the regatta?
I think it's also very difficult to arrive at the start of the race. To put together a boat team, sponsor, and everything that is needed to do a good race. I think that's the reason for. I don't know. Maybe not everybody wants to make around the world race with another people. I don't know.
Sometimes it's a little hard to actually predict how life is on board, just judging by the weather forecasts and the expected sea states and looking as closely as we can. But it's interesting then to hear from Jean Le Cam this morning, just saying life is actually pretty tough on board Chemney Pujola right now. It's very gusty and squally, even though they're in the trade winds. The squalls are up to 35 or 40 knots. And it's very hard to set the sail plan to the ideal sail area, particularly because it's so gusty. He said if you set for the maximum gust, then the rest of the time then you're not going quick enough and you're just getting bounced around in the seaway. So that's one of their problems. He just said it's fairly relentless at this stage. They're getting some sleep and so on. The routine is okay. In fact, he said that it's very much preferable in this situation to be two up. This is when it really starts to feel very different to being solo. He said at the moment, if you were sailing solo, you'd be getting no sleep at all, just having to tend the boat all the time because of these squalls. So being two up is a big advantage at the moment. Anyway, they are going well. They're making 13.2 knots. He said off the lead that really they have no alternative but to keep pushing the boat as hard as they can. That's how they stay focused.
Hi everybody, this is the Barcelona World Race situation today. Race management, breaking news. We have Chemney Pujola who was tacked yesterday and now heading towards the east-northeast. The boat is having some good wind at the moment. They have between 18 to 20 knots and the boat speed is 14 knots. They are in the southwest of this Azores high pressure and just in the south of this low pressure building up on the Portuguese shores. They will go in between Canarias and Madeira Island, and the eastern they will get, the better angle the wind will get. It means that the wind is going to blow from the northeast, then slowly to the north, and better angle with the northwest wind direction as they're making their way towards Gibraltar. Just behind, few days sailing behind, we have Neutrogena, Jose and Guillermo. Has good conditions here. They are on the latitude of Cabo Verde here. And they have these trade winds, typical northeast direction for the last days, and then it's going to keep going like this, as well, at least for a few hours. The boat is heading to the north with a bit more northwest direction in terms of heading compared to Gaes, which is a few miles still within the 200 miles behind. And the conditions are pretty steady in terms of wind force for the next hours. So pretty good conditions, making their way towards the north, as they will have then to tack towards the east and Gibraltar in the next days. Here we can see the fight is still going on between the two boats, We Are Water and One Planet, One Ocean and Farmaton. The boats are now sailing with the southeast wind, blowing 15 to 16 knots, and the boat speed is for both around 15 knots. And as we see here on the picture that One Planet, One Ocean has a better VMG, and they are very close to each other. Sometimes on the ranking, the position is swapping. We have probably some lighter conditions coming within the next hours for the two boats. Renault Capture finished with the western route here, and now has been jibed towards the northeast direction. Still very hard conditions in terms of light and unsteady winds for the buoys. Within this area, it's quite variable winds and the trade winds schemes, patterns. They have this high pressure here situation in their south, and we can see on the photo here that Spirit of Hungary has some pretty windy conditions, between 20-22 knots of wind coming from the northwest, so the Hungarians are having some upwind conditions. Pretty tough, but that will be all right. Thank you.
Bueno, por fin estamos ya con el alisio y rumbo a casa, y ahora estamos pues aquí luchando contra las algas amarillas. Esto hay auténticas alfombras de algas que, pues no sé, nos enganchan los timones y tenemos que ir levantándolos para sacarlas. Y bueno, es la distracción del día, sacar algas.